I'm Catherine Cito. Hi.
I'm James Madison. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. As the judge said, I'm a volunteer attorney from the Illinois Bar Association, and we offer our services to what we call pro se, or unrepresented taxpayers, at the calendar call. I'm not, you maybe heard when the judge was talking about entering appearances and all that formal kind of language.
Yes.
I'm not here or promising that I'll enter an appearance on your behalf, but what I wanted to do today was get some information from you and then see what's happening, and then maybe we can talk to counsel and figure something out today. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I have an agreement form that we put together, our pro bono group put together, and it says that you won't be charged for what's going to happen today. It's a free service. I agree to help you evaluate any settlement offers and to talk with you about procedural issues. I'm not going to hold any discussions without your being present, just because of privacy issues and release of information issues. In that you're not being hired, I'm not being hired other than just for today, okay? So if you'll sign right here, we'll get started. All the paperwork's done. That's always the hardest part. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about what you think is going on today, or why you're here.
Well, IRS says that I owe them money for one of these tax years, and I just don't understand how they came up with that number or where they're coming with it from. And I think, from the few letters that I've gotten from them and from what I can understand about it, is I've given them everything that they wanted.
Okay. And are there 1 year in question, 2 years?
Just 1 year, I believe.
And do you remember the year that's in question?
I think it's 2005.
Okay. And they say you owe them additional tax. And do you know why? Any idea what the basis for that additional tax is?
I think from what I've understood and the few times I spoke with the IRS is it has something to do with my retirement account.
Okay. So you had a retirement account?
Yeah, I was employed as a truck driver, and they stopped operating, and they were no longer going to operate. So when I left there, they distributed, or I was able to withdraw my entire retirement account, everything that I had with them.
Was it a 401k account?
I believe so.
Okay. And did the company lay you off?
Yeah, they laid me off.
And did the company continue in business, or did the company go out of business?
I think they went out of business. They stopped their operations altogether.
Okay. And that occurred end of 2005? Do you have a recollection of when that happened?
I don't remember exactly when in 2005. I think kind of in the middle.
Okay. And so you took out your retirement account, and then what did you do with it?
Well, I used a portion of it to pay bills because I was looking for a new job, and it really wasn't the best time to be laid off. And then what I realized after that is that I wasn't going to need all the money, so I put some of it back into another retirement account that I was able to set up.
And during that same year, during 2005?
Yes. It was pretty soon after I took out the money.
And do you have any kind of documents from the money coming out or the money going back in?
I do. I don't think I have them with me, but I'm pretty sure that I have something, or I can get something from the company who I gave the money to.
Okay. Do you have any? Did you ever give those to counsel, to the IRS, that you recall?
I thought it was in some of the paperwork that I gave them, but I can't remember exactly.
Can't remember. Okay. And do you have anything that shows from the company showing that you were laid off or discharged or anything like that?
There might have been a letter, and I don't know if I still have that, and I don't know if I'd be able to get anything because they're not around anymore. But I think that I might have something. I'd have to check.
Okay. Now, this maybe is a little technical, but did you pay the tax on it, and it's the penalty that they want, or do you know exactly what?
I think they said it's a tax that I have to pay them.
Okay. The tax on the money that you took out.
That's what I think.
Okay. Did you get any kind of memo or stipulations from the IRS counsel that would have what their position is on this?
They sent me some papers, but I'll be honest, it really just didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Okay. And did you sign a stipulation or any papers before the calendar call?
I think what I did sign was very little, but there wasn't a lot there.
Okay. Now, did you file a joint return in 2005?
Yeah, I filed jointly with my wife.
And is your wife here today?
She couldn't be here today.
Was the petition you filed in tax court for both of you or just for you?
It was for both of us.
It was for both of you, okay. And did you obtain employment in 2005 again?
Soon after I got laid off, I don't remember if it was 2005, I was able to find another job, but then that company had to lay me off as well. And then soon after that, I went to the eye doctor because one of my eyes was bothering me, and they couldn't correct my vision to what is required for me to keep the CDL. So I'm no longer able to drive a truck.
What's a CDL?
It's the commercial driver's license.
Oh, okay. So you were a truck driver?
Yes.
And what kind of trucks were you driving? I'm sorry, just what kind of truck was it?
Large trucks like you see that ship things back and forth.
Oh, semi-trailers?
semis, yes.
And both of these jobs were semi-trailer jobs?
Yes.
And you're saying you're not able to do that anymore?
No, I'm no longer able to do that.
Okay. Can you give me some information about your age? What's your birthday?
Well, in 2005, when I was laid off, I was 55.
All right. Were you 55 before you were laid off or after you were laid off? Or do you remember?
I don't remember because I don't remember the exact date I was laid off.
Do you have a driver's license that we could look at?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, thanks. They are pretty good. They put your birth dates down. Do you recall, this shows that your birth date was in April of, you turned 55 in April of 2005. Do you recall if you were laid off before or after that?
I think it was after my birthday.
You do think it was after?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was after because it was more towards the middle end of the year.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the process or what's happening here?
I guess where do I go from here if we don't get this resolved? Or what do I have to do to get this resolved?
Well, I think one of the first things it'd be good to do is talk to council to see what kind of documents they actually have.
Okay.
It seemed to me that you weren't clear about whether you'd given them information about your termination or the document around the employment termination. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then the other documents that might be useful are the paperwork around taking the money out and putting the money back in. Do you have those documents, or do you think you gave that to them?
I think I gave that to them, but
okay.
Because I know I did give them some paperwork. I just can't remember exactly if it showed that.
Right, and did they ask you about your age or your employment status or health or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right, well, what's going to happen next is that you and I will sit down with IRS counsel and see what she has and talk over what the issues are. And if we can resolve it, then we'll resolve it. If we can't, then we'll have to think down the road as to whether, as you heard the judge, he was setting cases for trial and he was talking about setting yours for trial. So it might be possible that you'd actually have to give some testimony and talk to the court about what your situation is. Okay. Would you be comfortable with that if you had to do it?
Yeah, I guess if I had to do it, I could do it.
All right.
I guess probably just be a little nervous in front of the judge.
For sure. That's always the case. You have any other questions about the procedure?
No, not at this time.
We'll probably have a little bit more information once we get a chance to talk to counsel, and then maybe you and I could, if need be, we can talk again, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Morning. Hi.
Good morning. Angela Friedman. Nice to meet you. Before we begin, I'd like to provide you with a copy of our pretrial memo that we filed in this case.
Great.
From what I understand, Well, to begin with, as I'm sure you know, this case is regarding a 72T penalty for early withdrawal of a retirement account. According to petitioner's petition, he believes that he is exempt from this under the exceptions under subsection 2. And I just wondered what your position was with regard to which exception he qualifies for.
Well, petitioner, can you tell me, did petitioner, they paid the tax and we're talking about the penalty? He wasn't sure about that just in our discussion this morning. You're looking for the 10% penalty.
Correct.
All right. Well, in talking to petitioner this morning, it appears to me that A5, the distribution was made to an employee after separation from service after the attainment of age 55.
Okay. Do you have a copy of a birth certificate or of a driver's license to verify his age?
We do have his driver's license, which I just looked at and got it, and I can certainly give you a copy of that. We don't have a birth certificate. He wasn't, Mr. Madison didn't have the letter with the date of his separation or the documents proving the date of the separation, though. It turns out he was 55 in the year of separation, and so we're looking to show that it happened before he attained age 55, the separation at least from employment.
Okay. Are there any documents? So you don't have any documents showing his separation from the employer?
I'd have to double check. I don't remember if I have any of those or not.
Do you have any documents showing that you were unemployed at all during that tax year, or that you...
I might have some unemployment statements.
Did you get unemployment compensation that year, you think, for a while?
I think I might have gotten a little, yes.
All right.
Do you have the documents showing when the distribution was made?
I think I do, yes.
He said he thought he had the documents for the distribution, and he did put some of it back in another IRA that year, but he thought he had those documents. We weren't sure whether he provided them to you or not. Do you have copies of those documents?
I do not have copies of those.
Okay. Well, if we could get you his driver's license to show his age and proof of when the monies were distributed, would that enable you to agree to settle this case and not impose a penalty on him?
It would. And actually, there's also an accuracy-related penalty in this case that's computational, and that would go away also if...
you didn't have to do it.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Well, what I suggest is that when do you think you'll be able to get these documents? How soon will you be able to get them back?
If I went home today, I could probably look for them and hopefully get them either later today or first thing tomorrow.
Okay. And if he doesn't have a letter from the employer at exact time, would the unemployment records be good enough? Or I guess I'm looking for what would satisfy your need here.
Unemployment records would work. So I would suggest at this point that we ask the judge that the case be recalled later this week to give Mr. Madison a chance to gather whatever documentation he can to show that he was separated from his employer in 2005 and to show the date that the withdrawal from the retirement account was made.
Right. Would that be okay with you?
I think that would be great.
And do you think you're going to be able to do it in a day or two?
I'm going to try.
All right, because I don't think that the judge probably isn't going to give me any more time after that,
okay.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Sure.
It's been a while, and he's going to be a little frustrated you didn't get the documents sooner, but hopefully he'll give us a chance for you to get the documents in the next couple of days.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.